Someone wrote that I was a mesh of contradictions, but I have no idea what that means. I just do what I do. I live, and the things I see in the world inspire me and give me creative thoughts, and they come out in visions in my head. It's like a overwhelming thing in my brain where I just have ideas and they're always visual. I'm happy as a person, but not with my work, and that's what drives me forwards. I'm more inspired by real life than, let's say, the art world. The art world doesn't really interest me that much. And if you're creative, you have this urge to do it. I actually like when the artwork gets painted over. It sounds strange, but when I put some artwork up fresh, it's too fresh. It's when it crumbles down, if it's paper and it peels off, or someone tags over it or writes something stupid over it, I actually like that look of it. Street art has so many aspects now. There's the legal side where you get commissioned to do a wall, and then you can go out and just do it illegally. You're not asking permission and you're just getting your ideas out there, and there's no one telling you what to do. In the early days I was putting up so much work and some things overlapped people's, and you'd get emails of hate from artists, and it's a crazy world that I never thought it was like that. To think that artwork can have such a strong effect on someone that they get angry, that's powerful in itself. I don't consider myself as a rebel, but if you've chosen to be an artist and you've put your whole life into being an artist, I guess that is rebelling against what's seen as the norm. Street art is advertising. You're just putting your work on the street. So my idea was to look at who are the original street artists, and it's the advertisers. So it's the fashion brands, it's the media heads and people like that. They already worked out that if they put a billboard up, millions of people see it, and that's what street art is. You can go into the aesthetics of it and the meaning of it and the purity of it, but at the end of the day you want your work to be seen, so you put it on the street. It might be illegal, it might be legal, but it's there and more people see it. I guess I'm not trying to preach, that's the main thing. So I'm not trying to tell people what to think. I'm not trying to tell people this is right or wrong. I'm more giving a comment on how I see a particular segment of life. Obviously I use Chanel, the logo, and I changed Chanel with one letter, so it's a chapel or chapelle. Now we go to the shops to worship the brands. I guess at the start of the lockdown everyone was concerned because it was the unknown. I was just locked in. Where I live is my studio as well, so I was just locked in this space. And for me, like, obviously this was a really bad thing that was happening in the world, but personally I just got on and carried on making artwork. I think it's important for artists to be isolated, to come up with new ideas. You're always influenced by the outside world, and you might be influenced by other things, but you have to be isolated to reconfigure the ideas. And I think everyone was absorbing all this information, and it can be quite overwhelming. So it got to a point where we were just tuning into the daily update at 5 o'clock, and then the rest of the day I would just make art. My artwork at that point wasn't changing. I was just carrying on with what I was doing. So I made this artwork called Don't Panic, and it was at the start of the first lockdown. Emotions were running so high. The toilet roll issue was happening. It was running out in supermarkets, and newspapers were full of huge headlines, and one of them was Don't Panic. Everyone was like running after this product, the toilet roll, and that was the new gold almost. And then the other hand I was holding the spray can, which represented creativity, because throughout the whole lockdown I didn't stop making artwork, I didn't stop creating. Through the pandemic, I think the word hope came up loads in the media, in the press, because we needed hope. Hope is what drives you forwards. You could be the best artist in the world and just keep all your work in your room, and you'd never be known. So it's good to see it in real life. I guess you'll never be right and you'll never be wrong.